Hello everyone, good evening. Hope you had a wonderful day. Hi Wojtek, hi Aurel, hi Marcel again. Today was quite interesting in the sense that a lot of follow-ups from the claims we have done on the stock exchange. These claims, of course, didn't remain without notice, and I have to give you some updates. So very important aspect is to clarify certain situation regarding the trading of the share. Today we've been in very close contact to Frankfurt. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the fact that Shape Robotics is also traded on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange in Germany, and we had a very interesting discussion with them, as they were not aware that the company is not bankrupt anymore. So in the course of today's call, they informed us that still the status of the share is not tradable due to the bankruptcy on the 6th of January. I can of course later on share the screen and show you exactly the request, and therefore we immediately also filed a complaint to BaFin, which is the ASF, the FSA of Germany, as of course a lot of German, and Wojtek is also here. I think that he is also trading the share on the German stock exchange. And as you probably are aware, the regulations in Germany are very, very strict, especially after the Wirecard. It is a decision from the High Court in Germany that all trustees into bankruptcy have to report and keep the MAR obligations as they are. So we filed a similar complaint also to BaFin, and we are waiting for NASDAQ to reply to the German stock exchange to see what is the current status, and to at least update correctly the shareholders that trade the share there or want to trade the share there. So currently we still have suspended trading in Germany, but for reasons that are clear, which basically they say that the company is bankrupt. So I'm just confirming some of the details behind closed doors, let's call it like that, in the sense that a lot of inactivity or lack of knowledge from certain parties in the Danish business community, let's call it like that, have created this chaotic unforeseen event. Although we won in High Court, still the company seems to be in a situation where everybody has decided that it should be bankrupt. And yeah, we are in this status of walking dead. Nobody gives us access to papers, to anything, and we are just they're just waiting us to die, you know. Today I had a discussion with my favorite journalist from Boss, from Finance, Jesper, the one that has of course asked me in many interviews a lot of questions, and still decided to publish whatever he thought was useful. And he was asking me a lot of irrelevant questions as usual, trying to deflect the more important aspect of the whole conversation that we had. And in the end, we concluded that vigilantes are for the comic books. We live in a society where there is a rule of law, and I explained to him something, and then this is how the discussion stopped. I explained to him that, for instance, somebody was accused of murder, went into jail, he was locked behind steel doors, then won the appeal and got a mistrial, and everybody is still keeping him locked. So that's the situation of Shape. We have been bankrupt, killed, sent to the execution chamber. We won the appeal, and they still believe that we should be in the same situation, because everybody thinks that if the fundamentals of a bankruptcy were there and the high court didn't analyze the fundamental of the bankruptcy in their head still exists. So this is the level of expertise that we are facing and fighting against. So I'm ready to answer questions now. In the meantime, I will share the screen to see what I'm talking about when I'm discussing about the German stock exchange. Let's see if I have any questions. Not yet. Of course, it's not only Frankfurt where the trades are happening. A lot of the platforms that like interactive brokers or similar use the same ticker from Frankfurt today, and I will show you now so everybody can understand. Let's see. So this is the Shape Robotics on Frankfurt. We are on Frankfurt and Copenhagen, two independent stock exchanges. Of course, Frankfurt is following the news from Denmark, but unfortunately, you would see that the level of the information that is received in this share. So please find it here, 550. It's actually in Frankfurt, 50 on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. It's our same ISIN, but the difference is that it's being traded in euros, very important. And there are no company informations at the moment. So everything is still in a situation where we don't have any sort of updates, because Nasdaq has sent an update only to it seems only to the Danish customers or the Danish born investors. So coming back to our discussion, let's see how the questions look like. Hi, Bo. Marcel is asking me a question. How are these people in charge when they do not know the law? It seems to me that you are right. I studied last night what you have said. Just an observation. Marcel, is not about they do not know the law. I think that they know the law very well. The issue is that they are so scared about taking any sort of decision, and that actually they preferred not to answer. You see today during the discussions in the press, there was no real hi, Bo. There was no real answer from Nasdaq, which is weird. So Nasdaq, on the main page of their website, you can see that Shape Robotics has claimed criminal charges against them, and they simply do not care to answer or say anything. I find it at least a confirmation that we are right. Like we discussed yesterday, from a very simple and correct point of view, there is good evening, Alexander. There is no interpretation of a high court order. I got a question from the amazing question. I will share it with you. I find it extremely interesting. And that question came from again the journalist from this guy Jesper Højberg from Finance, and he asked me Nasdaq also suspended the trade prior to the bankruptcy. What makes you think they are not allowed to suspend the trade? And I replied very clearly like yesterday, I do not believe that there is a problem for them to suspend the trade at any point, should there be any sort of reasons behind suspending the trade. But suspending the trade based on a bankruptcy that was overruled by the High Court is not feasible, it's not possible, it's technically illegal, okay? He's asking me, isn't this matter a matter between you and Nasdaq and not the police? And I said, yes, it is between us and Nasdaq, but when there's somebody is committing a crime, the police has to step in. And he also asked me, have you received materials from the administrator? Of course. Not. What does he want? He's asking me about VTS. Of course, I told him I don't know. Okay, and he says that Nasdaq has stated that trading won't begin as long as there are still bankruptcy petitions pending. And it seems very, very, very clear that that's not a problem to say that, but everybody needs to understand something very important. If Nasdaq is a private operator and the private operator has some rules and they come to us and they say, guys, you cannot be traded because you're missing XYZ. And you should fix that. How can I fix something that we already fixed, which is the bankruptcy case? And the pending bankruptcy petitions do not exist. We have not been communicated, served with any bankruptcy petitions. And yeah, one more question that I find it very interesting. He said, but the court has not ordered Nasdaq to resume trading. And this is a question that I think that everybody needs to process. A journalist in a financial newspaper is asking me that the High Court has not ordered Nasdaq to resume trading. This is, I will leave it to your interpretation, but I believe that it is proof that what I've said about finance is true. How can the High Court care about Nasdaq, who's a private operator, to follow the law? The High Court issues an order, and that order has to be followed. You need to restore the company in its previous working condition. This is very simple. They cannot go and ask because I'm asking you very simple right now. Why not the High Court ask Sanaco to come back to us? This is Marcel said, this is pure madness. Nasdaq shall comply with High Court's decision. I have studied this last night. Yes. Nasdaq and Kronman. And everybody in the end. It's a High Court decision. You cannot negotiate that. This is final. What are we doing to force them? I think that is quite clear. We have filed a complaint to the police. There is a very clear criminal article in the criminal code that discuss about these situations where you have contention of the court orders. And hopefully the authorities will step in, and this is a matter of extreme interest, in my opinion, as more than 4,000 people are not allowed to see transparently what is going on with their investment. At least that. Again, I'm not pro the idea that the trading should be restarted as it is, because I believe that Nasdaq has this kind of let's say, guiding principle, which says that the market has to be orderly. But in order for us to achieve orderly market and trading, go to Iris, doing all these things that we have promised the market to do, we need to have the instruments to be able to do it. We just received a communique from Nasdaq on Friday that the suspension continues. That's it. So how can we fix that? Nobody knows. So that's why you saw the title. They just want to progress until compliance is achieved. So they just want to force us into that. We have to wait a lot. Yes, unfortunately, Marcel, like you said, we have to wait a lot. I don't know how much. The good thing is here that the justice system in in Denmark seems to be a little bit faster than we are used to in other countries where we have operated. So in my opinion is that being a matter of interest, the justice system in Denmark operates on matter of interest. So there is public interest, everybody will move things forward faster. So my advice to the shareholder is try to create this kind of interest, because if it's only me talking left and right, it's difficult. What are you saying? We achieved almost nothing so far. I think we achieved victory that nobody thought to achieve. We are here talking, me as a instated legally CEO, when the company was supposed to be liquidated a couple of days ago if we didn't step in. So I hope that I made myself very easily understood to you, Marcel, all the questions. I think Bo had some very, of course, with Bo I communicate quite a lot, as he's a trusted advisor from Denmark, and one of our investors, esteemed investors, and he was asking me today if I should come and discuss with Kronman and Danske. I remind everybody that we don't have access to the bank account yet. Danske didn't even considered replying to me and give me back access to the bank account. Although I have my credentials, which have been cancelled due to the bankruptcy. So if the High Court sent an order for everybody to comply and nobody complies, this is where we are. I don't know how to answer myself. Don't get me wrong. I have studied this matter and I trust that you what are you doing, but we need to move faster. I think I cannot. Yeah, the only way to move faster is to file complaints. Also, we share the same interest. I agree. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. We share the same interest. Unfortunately, as you see, Marcel, we are being bombed left and right by very interesting characters that seems to most likely be related to the media or whatever. Even on Sherville the other night, when we had some very interesting news, somebody decided suddenly to put an article 1 week ago from 1 month ago from Finance, like this is something relevant or historically new. I think that someone is also trying to access our stream here and ask these questions. Of course, they're more than welcome to come here and ask questions, and I'm trying to answer in the most transparent way. But let's try to look at what is happening today, because what happened before in Shape is not that relevant. Like we said yesterday, that format of Shape is dead. We are looking at a new format now. Yeah, I'm talking about progression. What don't you understand about him? Bob, you agree? Yes, it's correct. We need to execute something, but with the packet of the trustee and the bank. We executed a lot, or at least I tried to execute a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I think the greatest weapon of the shareholder is the EGM. But like I said to Marcel right now, we cannot summon the EGM because it requires me to go to the to Danske Bank and ask them to summon this EGM. And I will explain to you technically. The EGM requires a shareholder registry, which in our case, Danske Bank holds access to that shareholder registry and the reserve shares of the company. And what happens is I go to Danske Bank. I will share the screen so you would understand, because the email was sent today from my colleague Victor, who will work for Shape for the next couple of days. Still, he promised to help me. And this email is this one, and I will share the screen for reference. And of course, I will share also this email so that any shareholder could go there and imagine how professional it is. The email is 37NE Issuer Services DK. That's our only contact in Danske Bank. Whether the services issuing bank remain active as the company is prepared to convene an extraordinary general meeting in the coming days. This is the third email that we sent to this address, and we have no answer. So, actually, the best solution would be that 5% of the shareholders, and I hope that Bo can raise to that amount, would go to this service and try to convene the EGM. That's how I see it. At least the EGM empowers shareholders to also have some sort of position against the trustee. Another thing that I believe it's really relevant is to ask the trustee how did he cancel the EGM, and that could be a position of the shareholders, Bo being present here, to ask how did he cancel the EGM when he knew that there was a pending appeal, and he knew that we had this financing from Iris that would have saved the company. That's a question that, of course, we ask the authorities to ask him, but I believe that the shareholders also can ask and should ask him. The cat left and left this here. It should be his interest to save the company too if he's a shareholder. Who do you think it's? You're talking about this guy from... I don't believe that this guy is still a shareholder. I believe that he is some sort of a troll. I think he's trolling hard, or this is, I don't know, this is at least the name that I heard being used by my daughter in certain forums where she's connecting. Yeah, and I also noticed today something that is extremely philosophical and something that I want to discuss about. There is this kind of, you're either with Mark or against Mark. It's stupid. You should not be pro me or against me. I'm trying to report what I'm trying to do right now, and should you like it or should you think that is in line with what your interests also dictate, then you can be against me or you can be pro me without choosing a side in that direction. I don't believe that every person that doesn't like the, I don't know, let's make a parallel with the political situation, doesn't like the war in Ukraine, then it's pro-Russian. It's stupid. Progression also made a lot of comments on Brain Plus, minus same comments. I don't know what is Brain Plus. Another share traded on... maybe, like I said, maybe he's a person that just wants to have a lot of followers on Shareville. I don't know. Let's not waste so much time on people like this. I think that the message would be, and I congratulate Bo for the Discord channel and what he wants to do there. Let's try to rally behind Bo. He's a very serious person, and in my opinion, he's yes, exactly. Let's just forget progression. He's a respectable person, and he can open some doors. In Denmark, of course, I understand. Yeah, you made a Google sheet. I spoke with Daniel. He was one of the shareholders that connected the other day, and he has around 500,000 shares, something in that direction. So he will join also that. Let's try to make a fast EGM, put a small board, 3 people to operate, and yeah, let's try to move away from this situation, because like I said, this is a strategy from Kronman, Reumert, and Danske Bank, and all the people that have managed poorly this situation to try just to make it go away. It's typical make it go away, in the sense that they hope that the company will be declared bankrupt soon. But this doesn't change anything. Even if the company will be declared bankrupt soon or not, it doesn't have anything to do with this mindset that they have, that they should just make time go away. They should respect the decisions of the court. And again, give us the papers. What can we do without the papers? Yeah, you can count on another, let's see, 500,000 shares from Romanian investors, and maybe even more. I think that also Wojciech is here from the Polish investors, and he's Wojtek here. You can contact him also. See if he wants to to also join. In order to reach 5%, I think right now, according to the free float, it's 1 million shares. 1,100,000 shares, I would say, yes. Yeah, so all these talks and interpretations do not help us at all. I would say that, yeah, please join the channel. I think it's good to discuss. They do not help us at all. They do not bring any sort of clarity on where we are. We should focus on exactly the situation. We are a company that has been legally reinstated, and we have a bunch of other companies that decided unilaterally or together, I don't know, that we should not function as a company because we are dead anyway. So these are the vigilantes that want to clean Shape Robotics out of the Danish system, because Shape Robotics is led by a wild CEO, a crazy guy that does not follow the rules. I will send you. I will post on Substack the Discord channel, and then you can all connect. But you know, we are just a bunch of people connecting here, and the Shape Robotics should have 4,000 Danish investors. So I guess the community should be rallied somehow. But what do you think? Can't we organize somewhere in the media an independent sort of an interview or something? Because I see that the media is the one that moves the mountains in Denmark for a reason that I don't really follow right now. But I saw that today some of the more mainstream journals were quite decent in the report that they have sent out about the situation at Shape today. Even Borsen had an article that is quite, let's call it, quite reporting style. So no sort of personal journalist opinions. So it's just the facts. Good. Yeah, there should be in the end, some sort of a decency in the market, not to cover everybody, because in the end, right now, what we're saying, if we focus on what we're saying, this is absolutely the truth. So there is no way to interpret it in another scenario. If either of you is satisfied with the email that you got from, or the company announcement that you got from Nasdaq the other day about the trade being continued to be suspended, I don't know for what reason, bankruptcy claims pending, then tell me. But I believe that this is a very unprofessional kind of communication, and yeah, I don't know what can I say more without making people feel uncomfortable. Good. Let's not keep this one for too long, as we need to give some time to the market to disseminate. In my opinion, the best scenarios were laid on the table already by the legal team to everybody. Hopefully, we will see some reaction soon. The courts were notified, all the complaints were sent, the FSA was notified. We should be able to receive some answers. And just to clarify, during the day today, I've contacted the lawyers in Poland and the lawyers in Romania for the subsidiaries, and I'm trying to recuperate access to the warehouses As you can imagine, for the last almost 70 days, there was absolutely, because we also talk about the New Year's, nobody entered in those warehouses and they have not been paid. Some of the goods were seized by the landlords of the warehouses where we paid rent. I can confirm that in Poland, around 2.5 million euros worth of goods are seized in the warehouse of the Polish landlord. So it's not zero. The message is clearly not zero, and hopefully we'll get to the papers of the beloved Kronman Reumert specialist, and then we will show everybody the mess that they have made in this bankruptcy. Good. If there are no other questions, I will give you another, let's say, 1 or 2 minutes, and I think we should call it a day. And I appreciate all of you that you are connecting every evening and working hard together with us. And of course, the only immediate action that you should have is to spread the information as far and wide as possible through your resources and channels, so that at least we have a debate. It's us against a system that tries to invent reasons why we should not exist, because they don't want us to be there, and they don't want us to be destroying the legacy of Kronman Reumert or Danske Bank. Good. I let you relax for the evening. Everybody, thank you again, and have a very pleasant evening. Bye bye.